Hi everyone, that Bigfoot diss was straight trash. Here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of this new Benny the Butcher album, Everybody Can't Go. This is the latest from Buffalo rapper Benny the Butcher. If you're unfamiliar with Benny's progression at this point, he's been active since the 2000s, but it wouldn't be until deep into the 2010s that he would begin to really build up some momentum as a key part of the Griselda Records collective, a Buffalo rap label that has been responsible for a pretty big resurgence in very grimy, underground, old-school boom-bap aesthetics. Now, the tragic downside to Griselda and everyone involved with it growing in profile is that it's no longer the tightly knit group of artists that it once was when people were originally catching wind of it. And this has led to key respective members of Griselda, Conway the Machine, Westside Gunn, and Benny the Butcher, each going off in their own respective directions with their solo careers. With that being said, though, it's been really cool seeing each of these guys carve out their own niche in the music industry, and I think time apart has given each of them the ability to spread their wings and really define what makes each of them unique as an artist, as opposed to, being defined more as a group. Now, Benny's run over the last several years has had a specifically mainstream slant, because I think his appeal among everyone in Griselda is the most obvious and tried and true. He's a braggadocious coke rapper with boatloads of charisma and a lot of lyrical wit too. And in his most commercial moments, his music sounds kind of like a comeback of the bling era glam gangster stuff that we remember from artists like G-Unit and the Diplomats. And this has led to Benny dropping some chart climbing records and gaining a lot of underground cred too. And he is now graduating from Empire Records to a Def Jam deal on this new LP. But interestingly, this hasn't really led to any major changes in Benny's sound or direction, which, depending on how you feel, could be a good or a bad thing, because while Benny's sound has proven to be the most instantly accessible among his Griselda brethren, he's also shown himself to be the least versatile too, as you don't really get the emotionally impactful, intimate depth that occasionally a Conway will drop on a track, and you don't get a lot of the artsy aesthetic experimentation that Westside Gunn is usually known for. Benny is more a cunning, macho rapper's rapper who knows what he's good at and he just kind of sticks to it. And I think he refined his approach as well as he possibly could on Tana Talk 4 back in 2022, which was a great record. But that makes me wonder, what exactly is Everybody Can't Go gonna bring to the table that no Benny album has so far? Well, you could say on a micro level, at least the album brings some bops and bangers, a lot of seedy, luxurious cuts that are backed with cinematic and classy production, be that the song BRON, which has a great Hit Boy beat behind it, booming drums, bass, the horn leads are sick, also what sounds like these clipped little vocal harmonies or something. Lyrically, it may be far from Benny's best showing, but the success, the confidence just radiating off of this track is infectious. Then Big Dog with Lil Wayne, I think, takes a somewhat headier approach as far as the energy level. It has a very cerebral alchemist beat attached to it. More themes of success and I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning coming off of Benny's verse here, but Lil Wayne, in my opinion, actually is the one who steals the show with a more lyrically impressive verse that is loaded with all of these funny and clever canine nods. With one foot in, we get yet another killer instrumental from Hit Boy, and this track essentially sees Benny rapping about operating both in the worlds of hip-hop and also drug dealing. There is a great Stove God Cooks feature on the track too. That dude just gets more expressive and raspier every year, and I think he is consistently one of the best features that you'll catch on any Griselda album whenever one of these guys do drop. How to Rap gives us some instructive food for thought in terms of operating within the rap game, with features, with record label deals, with leeches, with beefs. It's good, but also feels kind of like a less exciting version of Benny's 10 More Crack Commandments from his last record. These tracks, plus maybe the opener, are kind of the highlights for me, and I wish I could list more, but not every moment on this project was fire, as I think sometimes the features weigh this thing down a bit. Babyface Ray, for one, who I don't really mind in association solo capacity, but his listless voice and delivery doesn't really sound like much sandwiched in between Benny and Jadakiss. Talk about sounding out of place. I could also take or leave Kyle Banks' generic R&B style chorus that he delivers on the title track. Snoop Dogg, I think, does a great job on the refrains with the song he appears within, but why does him endlessly blabbing add a whole nother minute onto the end of the song? That's a lot to extend a track out considering it's a 3-minute cut overall. The closing track is listenable, but I think it's super weak as a finishing moment, as it doesn't really tie anything up thematically, and it's got one of the most boring sounding instrumentals on the entire LP. Lots of atmosphere, very plain trap perks. Meanwhile, Benny is going very heavy on the refrains, and Peasy, the featured artist on the track, is delivering almost this kind of 21 Savage-esque monotone flow. Overall, the track kind of feels like I'm listening to Her Loss at home. Boneless Her Loss, unseasoned Her Loss, whatever you want to call it. And with Griselda Express, we are back on the Griselda train. Westside Gunn is here, Conway is here, Rick Hyde too, but the track is not nearly as fireworks as you would hope, considering that, as fans, we love hearing these three guys get together. And the song just lacks purpose in the overall track list of the project. It kind of feels like we're just getting one of these songs because it's become an expected feature of any new album one of these guys puts out. But yeah, adding another one to the growing pile just sort of, goes to show how pointless doing these songs just for the sake of doing them is. There are some more meh moments on the record as well, with Buffalo Kitchen Club as well as Trust More Valuable Than Love, which I do enjoy the grimy vibes on these tracks for sure, but both feature very stiff grooves, very lackluster song structures. The only thing that kind of saves the latter of these two songs is the beat switches and Benny's lyrical focus, as we do get a bunch of stories of betrayal and crime around romantic relationships. But yeah, overall for Benny the Butcher, I just feel like this album is kind of okay, a very unceremonious addition to his catalog, doesn't really do anything or bring anything to the table that his past albums haven't already. Be that his initial mixtapes, be that the very grimy records that he dropped a while back when Griselda was first kind of getting off the ground, or even some of the more mainstream stuff he's released since inking major label deals. So as a result of that, I'm feeling a decent 2 strong 6 on this one. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Benny the Butcher of Forever.